Kobe.
I'm in my zone. Tino Team and Black Music. Like the head, go. I'm in my zone. I'm really in the zone. We just talking about zones. I'm really in the zone. We just talking about zones. Zone. I'm in my zone. Leave me alone. I'm in my zone. Leave me alone. I'm in my zone. I'm really in the zone. I just talk about songs. I'm really in the zone. I just talk about songs. Zone. Team, no team. No team. Shout out to all the producers who producing tonight. Shout out to all the producers who's lit tonight. You know who you are. Keep banging out, because I'm banging out. Check me out, though. Team No Team and Black Music. I'm in the lab. Shout out to Baby Yoda. My man. Team No Team and Black Music. Shout out to that YouTube channel, 183rd B's. Team No Team. High, what's good? Come up, banging some music out, bro. You already know. I see you. Benji. That's right, I'm on fire. You always, you already know I'm on fire type of dude. Shake my hand. I got fire coming out my hands, brother. I'm on fire. All right, watch out. Excuse me. I'm on fire, Daddy. Salute from the hood to the woods. Fragrance City, salute. Yummy, salute. Team Taurus is in the building. Light, salute. KO, salute. Lisa Dubois, salute. Yeah, we in the building. What's good, y'all? What's good? Oh, man. Yeah, we here at 7 o'clock every day, God willing. You know how we do. Salute to the chat. Salute to everybody watching. Yeah, man. I don't know. I was going to talk about Martin Luther King. His book I haven't read it, but I seen the title. It was kind of funny that that question was asked, and the answer is chaos, man. The answer is chaos. There's no more community. Community is destroyed. When I was growing up, it was still a little bit of community left, but yeah, we lost that. I think we need more. Like leaders in these communities, like younger leaders, like leaders that's from like the streets, like But you also need a mixture. It's a mix because people can't really relate to what's going on outside. Yeah, it used to take a village. That's a fact. Nowadays, it's everybody for themselves. And what's happening is, you see the whole gentrification, things of that nature. It's funny. The only good thing is, a lot of black folk moving back to the South. Maybe that could be a good thing. I don't know. Because now the South is like up north, like how they feel in the South about up north and up north about the South. When I was growing up, it wasn't really like that. Like, we got family in the South. My parents is from the South. So the world is just different now, man. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. It's a different world. Yeah, it's disheartening, but what can you do, man? What you can do is live, try to find your slice of heaven, find some happiness somewhere.
live out the rest of your days if you want to do that. You know, I'm gonna go out fighting. I'm a fighter. Can't help it, man. I would love to just find a nice piece of heaven and just live out the rest of my days. You know, because I'm not really, I don't really want for much. Simple things, but I got a fighting spirit for some reason, which brings me here. Yeah, man. So I'm just trying to continue to fight, man. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass. And I get a, I read the history on them. People are pulling up the, dirt and things of that nature. We all human, man. Like nobody's perfect. But, they fought for a good cause. The cause was good. The message. That's what it's about. We lose sight of that. We keep getting caught up in trying to, you know, speak about people's character. And I was always taught it's like, you're not supposed to speak about the dead. Like, you feel what I'm saying? But, there's no more respect, no more codes, and things of that nature. And then you wonder why the youngins is running around wild like that. You know? I consider Martin Luther King a leader. I don't think he ran for no office. I'm not mistaken. I don't think he ran. I don't think he ran for an office. I don't think he was a political leader. I mean, a political. What you call him? Politician? Yeah, a politician, a political figure. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying what he did. Like you know, we had our own, and we were segregated, but they was attacking us. So it's like we had to integrate. We had to march in peace. We didn't have the army. We didn't have what they had. So we had to come up with a strategy, and I respect that strategy right there. It took a lot of heart. And people wasn't cowards. You feel what I'm saying? People was not cowards. Yeah, man. They didn't know a lot of stuff, misguided and all that. But voice and reason beyond that. Right, right, right. I know a lot of people talk about, the revolution, picking up gun, picking up arms and all of that, but they have a whole army. Like, people, nowadays people speak in movie mode. Like people being moved, like they think things is like a movie, a simulation. It's real. When shit get real, we get real. Not pretty. It's not a movie. How you think shit work out, don't work out. Like what I'm saying. So you might think, oh, you're gonna take up arms and attack, this and do that, but there's always repercussions. So you gotta have plans. You gotta know. You know what I'm saying. You gotta have people, military training and things that this is what these people do all day. And now they out in the Middle East doing that on urban warfare. Like, you know? So you gotta remember, man. This shit is an experiment over here. So you see all these cities that across the world who's modeling their cities after cities over here. So those cities that they have, those cities is already uh, mapped out. people, they already know what to cut off. These are big prisons. Of what I'm saying, cities are big ass prisons. Bang time, salute, salute. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact because we wasn't paying attention to the world. We was paying attention to, but they get that. They get that from all that reading on them. They read too much. To me, damn books. They should see in the books none of these empires succeeded. They all fell. America is new. You know what I'm saying? It's a new empire. So if something go wrong here, what people going to do? People ain't prepared for nothing. We only prepared to get conquered, colonized by the next conqueror. Yeah, that's a fact. Eventually, and you got to look at it. If we know eventually empires fall, and we having children and believing in our minds that our generations are going to be in the future, and our family names and carrying on this stuff. Like, if we believe that, like, how we gonna prepare our families and all that for this time, whenever it happens in the future? Because it happened before. We lost our history before. That's what they do. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna be a new set of conquerors coming and switching it up. And they don't got to do it by force. They can come right through the political system. Salute, big time, salute.
Salute, bro. Steve. Salute, chat. Yeah, they don't gotta do it by force. Just watch how they manage this whole Cuban liberation shit. Watch this shit.
Right?
You know what I mean? Just watch it, y'all. Just watch. They're gonna do it all through the politics and watch.
You see how they speak about how the Jews control all everything in the world, right?
Right.
They never came with no army.
Yeah. And you could say it was because of Holocaust, but the Holocaust was starting because they was already buying up shit all through Germany. Like, so they already was doing this move, like, you know what I mean?
What
And
they
then
did was they people believe that these was people of the Bible early.
Yeah.
So they was helping them out. They was doing all types of shit for these people.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, the truth will set you free, I guess.
Right, Fidel got old and they still couldn't do nothing to him. He had to die. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, wow. And he knew because he wasn't letting them in there to take that land.
In politics, he did it politically. He have a strong enough army, you know what I mean? They put him into power. They helped him get power.
He did it though. Like, he did radically, but he did it, man. And that's what I was telling everybody. He had to die because of what he represented. Like, and then they couldn't kill him, because then that would give a one-man idea to go take over a country. One man like Saddam, or one man like, you know what I mean? Like, and
they would have made him a martyr.
Right. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And they couldn't kill him. Like, he out, so they try to starve him out. But his people still higher education than our people. They still got better medical, but they starving and they poor, but they still got better medical and better fucking teaching than fucking America. So go figure that shit. You understand what I'm saying? He the only one that sends soldiers to the apartheid. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So, to
He
manage
was political.
apartheid in
He was
Africa,
making political strategies.
allies, right, right. You know what I mean? So they say he didn't have soldiers, but he ripped up some soldiers to send out there. Like,
Right. And there's something about that communist they not telling us. There's something about that they
yeah,
not telling us.
it is. It is. It really is, man. And they do not want a country to flourish on that anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, they don't want it.
Because that word community sounds like it's in there. You feel me?
Fidel, once America didn't help Fidel, he made the deal with Russia, and then they was hiding the bombs over there, and that's when he got into real beef with us. But um, he had to do something for his people. You know what I mean? As a communist leader, he did everything he was not supposed to do. He like fuck everybody.
Right. Because if you look at it, that shit, the communists, it was like it was like the war was against like it was crazy. Like the
hmm
war was against communists, against, you know what I'm saying?
hmm
All of the
Political
countries are
factions and
communist.
all that. Because
Yeah.
he was saying the country was poisoned with the politicalness and the corruption, like the crime life leaders, they were all doing shit in that country at that time. Like they go there to split money and all that shit. So he was like, nah, y'all not moving for the people. And so originally his shit started for the people. It just I don't know once he kicked people out and all that, and I know he had to do what he had to do, but once he
I'm talking
did
about
that,
here
he got
I'm talking about
enemies.
like here in America, like
Right.
it's something with that communist. Like a lot of people was kicked out and locked up because they was communists. Like remember, like it's a lot
Most
of movies.
countries was changing their political factions, though. You know what I mean? So most countries were communists at some point. You know what I mean? They had one leader. You know what I mean? Like so.
But I'm talking about how we had a communist party.
Because we the melting pot, so these people come with communist ideology. You know what I mean? Coming from these countries. You know what I mean? So then they become political. They get political, but they start going against these red and blue dudes, and they know what they need to do for the people based on their country, but they didn't know the fight for it was gonna be so hard. Like
Right.
people don't want
We
that.
got them up out of here.
That's why the Black Panther Party was considered communist. You know what I mean?
Oh, they considered it communist.
Yeah, they was considered communists.
See, I think they was just calling everybody communist.
Right, because they was moving they had white people moving for them. They had a lot of things going, and so even the white people were labeled communists. If you had, it was like being a Democrat today, a liberal. That name, like, you know what I mean? That shit's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Right. But I was telling Tommy last night how the WIC program started through the Black Panther Party.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the women of the Black Panther Party did that, and it was going so well that they kind of forced the government to pick that program up after them. You know, after they were demolished, or the program was picked up, like they did it after they killed off the Black Panther Party. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like there's some other shit that be going on, man, that we don't be knowing about, bro. Because
Truthfully, I think
at the end of the day, whoever would have got a president. So say the communists would have got a president in there,
right.
they would have chased out the Republicans, like.
Well, no, it's still democracy. So the party, we would just have more communist senators, communist. You know what I mean? Like they ain't not gonna
They
come
ran
out
the
the wood.
communists out, but I'm saying they ran them out of here. How did they do that?
They didn't run them out. They just changed their party to red or blue.
No, I'm saying, all right. I'll be watching movies where people be part of the communist part, but they have to be in secret.
Yeah, so you make them criminals.
It became illegal.
Yeah. See, I'm a believer that in order to move forward with our democracy, this so-called democracy, that our elections need to be full with every type of party there is. You know what I mean? Like socialist party,
I'm
communist
asking.
party.
My question is,
you know
how did they have the power to make the communist party illegal?
Because the red and blue been at it for a while, and they just merged them out. Once they make them rebels or make them enemies or federal law against them, you know what I mean? Like, and then people start
That's what I'm
dying and
saying.
guns go off. They kind of set a war, basically. They set a little political war off against. They
So if the
flood the
communists would have got a president, then they would have been the winners.
right. Just one, get one in, and then you see what they can do. They're gonna change all kind of, you know what I mean, on policy and all kind of shit, and you see what they can
See,
do. But
Democrats
people
and
are scared of
Republicans,
that though. People are
they work
scared of that
together,
because of
bro.
Fidel. You
They
know what
work
I mean?
together, man. Democrats and Republicans work together.
Yeah. To keep everybody else out
Right,
at bay.
right.
Their fight amongst the scraps amongst them. They fine with that. Like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That's why it took so long to get a black president or a minority president, I should say. You know what I mean? Because the next one will be a Chinese president or something like that.
Foolish shit. Yeah.
Thing about it is, China is a communist country.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So the ideology of a person like that, even if they have independence here, it's still gonna be what they was taught as a child, right? So
Right.
it's still gonna be communist ideology. Like, so they're gonna try to keep that at bay as long as possible. You know what I mean? Or make sure, like Barack, they Americanized. Like,
Crazy.
yeah,
That shit crazy, bro. I'm telling you.
it's all an illusion. You taught me that though.
Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes when I'm like,
optical illusion, bro. They create. That's why I was gonna tell you. Like, even in our fight, you know, it's not a senseless fight, right? But our people sold us out so long ago.
right.
I don't know if they'll flip the game up, drop a deadly disease or some shit before they'll let us win on that shit, my
Of
nigga.
course.
Like,
They're not gonna let us win. Nah, we gonna win ultimately, but right now we all we can do is shit.
We gotta keep just survive and keep God and Most High, you know what I mean, and you know it's His way, and
we gotta keep talking shit, man.
Yeah, and don't be silenced, right?
Right.
Don't be silenced.
Right. Say all that shit you need to say before you leave this earth, man.
Word up.
Now you got these platforms and shit. You nigga, listen. I ain't even get started yet.
I was crazy. Like when I told Tommy and them, I was expecting people to know that, and they didn't know that. So there's a lot of unknown things like that gotta be kept being said so that people know. Like, they are not the originators of nothing. They took it when people died or they killed people for it. Like, nothing. Not the kids of nothing, bro.
That's just, man. It's still political soldiers, political prisoners. Like, that's crazy. It's like motherfuckers just forgot. Like, they just moved on with this, with life. Like, these niggas done tried to go out. These niggas.
They made sure before they let these niggas out, most of their life was over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy.
The people don't care
forgot
no more.
about them for 20 years and 30 years. And
yeah, man. I remember as a kid, people talking about these
care about them, right?
And I didn't know I didn't even understand till now. Like, now I'm starting to understand what the shit is, but they wasn't really explaining it. They was just saying little, certain words. But I guess I was supposed to do research.
Yeah, man.
Guess we gotta stop killing each other. Man, that's, we never gonna stop killing each other.
It's embedded in the humanity, right? Didn't even matter if it was guns. Like
If
if
we,
guns wasn't here, when we just had a coat of arms with swords, people battled and died every time, bro. Like
we
men are
never want to stop
savages, bro.
civilization. What we need to do is get our own shit again. Like we need to get our shit back, like segregation.
You think that will help even right now in a universal world? Like the world
Yeah,
is so entwined now.
I'm not talking about segregation like people can't go into these places.
Right.
I'm talking
We'll
about
have
like
our
we
own
right.
yeah.
You can live there. Anybody can live there, but we own the shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. As
Jay
I said,
Hercules, salute.
I was talking to I was talking a Cuban dude down here, and he was like old timer, and he was like the first thing he said was about 5 years they're gonna open everything up. If you smart, you go buy some property by the water over there. I'm like, what? And look, all this shit happened on look, it
Yeah,
went through the
I ain't
five
doing
years.
nothing by the water.
Yeah, that's why I said hurricane. He was like, don't worry about hurricane. Don't worry about
Yeah,
hurricane. We
I'm
build
doing the
our shit
mountain.
right.
Yeah, I'm doing the mountains, man.
Going to the mountains.
Hercules, salute. Yeah, I'm doing the mountains, man. I'll take my chances up there. Might have a little avalanche, mudslides and shit.
Mudslide. Learn how to deal with all that shit, huh?
Yeah, that flood shit, that's different.
Yeah, it's that water, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But he said
Can't
to
stop
have
it.
access to the food and shit that for the country, but I guess the mountains gonna have food too.
Can't stop the water, bro. We only try to outclimb that bitch. That's it.
Mountaineer, nigga.
Cause we on a bunch of mountains, bro. Like
Yeah.
if niggas really look at it,
We living in the mountains now. They just
right?
made it.
Because they tell us volcanoes shoot up and make islands, right? So these must be the top volcanoes. Must be the top of the mountain. That's what they tell us.
Yeah.
Shit, crazy. Bro. These motherfuckers, man. Listen. I'm just saying. If we were segregated before, they must know where we used to be, so they can just give us that back. You know what I'm saying? Like they took it. You feel me? Like he took it in the first place.
Man, trying to give shit back. You see that the black farmers finally got a little deal, right? You see the white farmers got all mad and shit. Like
Uh-huh.
that shit was crazy. I'm like, yo, y'all done capitalized off the rich dude that came off got y'all right. These dudes got shitted on. They getting paid some money back for that shit. And y'all mad after y'all
Right.
made 10 times that? Like, are
You
y'all
gonna get it?
crazy? Like,
How many presidents they had before Obama?
like, oh, y'all crazy as fuck. But that's
You
what
gonna
it
get
is.
it?
Like,
These
they
niggas is
like,
not trying
nah, we had them on the fence. They was about to sell their shit. You just fucked it up. Like, now we got another 30 years to wait.
The niggas ain't trying to hear none of that shit, bro. That's what I'm saying. These niggas ain't, and we keep trying to ask them for shit. They ain't giving us shit.
Giving us nothing, bro. Cut that shit out. I mean, but it's good for us to know. You know what I mean? But they ain't giving you nothing.
Yeah,
They ain't never gave us nothing.
shit.
Especially us coming from where we
Right.
came from. You know what I mean? You know.
Niggas is still waiting for reparations in 2021. What you gonna get 40 acres and a mule? Like we don't even have mules over here. Like I don't even understand. That's another question.
The worth of it. But 40 acres is a lot. But at the end of the day, it's just like damn, they fucking made a deal to give us 40 acres and a
Yo,
mule.
that's another question I got too. Where the fuck
Like,
is
what
the
the fuck was you gonna do with 40 acres and a mule?
Nah, 40 acres, I hear it, but what's the fuck is the mule? Like, what is that?
That's to start the farming of the land.
We
So you
don't have
fertilize.
mules, but we don't have.
Sure we do. They donkeys, man.
Where?
They
In
got
South
them,
America? Juan
nah.
Valdez or something?
Yeah, they used to get them
We
like
got horses. Like, we
Mexico
don't
and all
have
that.
I'm gonna ask him, what's up with that, bro? Like, what's up with the mule? Like,
Nah, that's a valid question. When I got down here, I'm like, I start seeing cows, so I'm like, yeah, how much you think a cow is? They're like, oh, like $300. I'm like, $300? Like, he's like, yeah, you need a cow for your land. You need about
a cow is only
6 cows.
300.
Yeah, like it's
What
cheap
the fuck?
like a car, like $900 for a baby cow and stupid shit like
Yo, I'm
that.
thinking
Like,
at least a stack for a cow, bro. Niggas would have
yeah,
got
they
me.
be up there. They be up there, but you know, when you get these farms down here, be having a couple of cows and you put out like 5 or 6 on your land with one bull, and that's how you know what I mean? And I'm just, just being out here, I had to ask that shit, and it was just like, wow, they actually had an answer for me, like,
Niggas
you know what I
said
mean?
300 for a cow. Like, I'm dead.
Yo, he said, yo, I was gonna buy my little calf over there.
Yo, you know, it's actually
$400.
niggas out there talking like this right now. Yo,
Word
bro,
up.
I'm saving up this 300, my nigga.
Oh man.
I swear.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Nigga said Jordans. Nigga said fuck Jordans, nigga. Give me a cow, nigga.
Man. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you get your milk, you know what I mean? All that shit. Nigga P had a chicken house and chicken coop, you know what I mean? He had his eggs and shit. I'm like, what? He's like, we going to get fresh eggs. I'm like, where?
I can't eat
outside.
them. You gotta bring me the eggs. I can't see them shits come out the chicken. I can't eat them.
I thought it was a different egg too, man. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's how it's done. That's how it's done. Okay. I had to become a grown ass man before I acknowledged that. You know?
It's like when I used to eat like when I used to eat like beef and all that, like if you was to slaughter the cat like or the chicken, like if you was to ring the net, and I'm not eating after that. Like
yeah, in Puerto
I
Rico.
want that shit.
In Puerto Rico, that's part of you coming up, bro. You gotta learn how to do that shit as a
Now
man.
my mom's told me, she was like, yeah, you gotta ring its neck. I was like,
yeah,
no,
you catch it, you ring its neck.
You
gotta cut that shit on, let them drain out and shit.
Yeah, all I gotta do is go to the Associated. Like.
Food City. I hear you, bro.
Oh, no, I want to see that shit.
Either. I can't do that shit either.
And people, back then people were savages. Like you gotta look into the soul of this shit. Hear it squealing, like especially a pig. Damn, man, that's a slippery kill. Like you gotta kill that shit and cut it up and make bacon and all that shit.
Butcher it right there, get all the meat ready, like in different forms and shit. Like that shit crazy. As I said, everybody who works in like a butcher shop, like how you doing that shit? Like, back in the days, moms used to go to the butcher shop to get their meat.
You see what I'm saying?
That.
Trying to front act like they was doing that shit. Your parents was doing that shit. Y'all wasn't.
Yeah, y'all wasn't doing that. Y'all was going to the butcher shop.
But maybe she's right because she was a little girl, so maybe her parents. I don't know. I don't know if they have butcher shop. I don't know. I gotta ask them. They be cutting that pig. They eat every piece of that pig. Like, don't throw that out, boy. That's chitlins. That shit is gross. They eat every part of the pig, man. Huh? Good old days. Chill, man. I'm about to get up out of here. I see y'all on the other side. Do the good one. Salute, salute.